What is going on, y'all? Thank y'all so much for joining us. This is Ending the Stigma. My name is Chris Hennessy. Where we just have conversations with people to kind of surrounding anybody that's been justice involved, drug addiction, the whole 9 yards, and just kind of try to open people's eyes to the fact that, it happens. We are out here, and not all of us are bad. So let's say hi to everyone real quick. Shannon Nelson. Hey, Shannon, how are you? Link showing up as LinkedIn user. Kelly Steinicke is here. Brenda Meller, nice to see you, ma'am. Kimberly Lechnick, how are you doing? Carl Sean Watkins, man, I haven't seen you in forever. How are you doing? Lynette is here. Chris Smith is in the house. What's going on, man? Good to see you, brother. Hey, Andrew Bennett, the Lego master himself. So my guest tonight is doing, hey, Darren, how are you, sir? My guest tonight is doing some really cool stuff as far as reentry goes. She's very passionate about it. It was like a 30-minute call, but just hearing her talk about it and the things that she's doing, the things that the organization she's working with, and just the realization that there needs to be improvement and working towards that is just amazing. So I'm going to bring out Tiffany Raymond. Hey, Tiffany.
Hi. How are you?
How are you? I'm good. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about how you got into reentry and just kind of what fueled that. What sparked that in you?
It's probably not the exciting answer you're looking for because it was completely on accident. I applied for a job and the title sounded really fun and it didn't have anything to do with the title. And I was like, well, challenge accepted. And I absolutely fell in love with it. And now I have made it my whole life. So yes, that's how that happened.
So tell us a little bit about some of the things you do, the people you work with, the programs, all that kind of stuff. Because it's really interesting. Yeah, you do so much. Like it's
so
crazy.
Many. Yes, I have a hard time saying no. I've told you that previously. So anytime that there is any option to help or volunteer, I'm like, yeah. And so I don't sleep very often. But I handle quite a large area, 2 counties worth of population. And then I volunteer with, I counted today, 10 organizations. 1 I'm a board member for, and 9 I do volunteering on subcommittees, or I help them whenever they need something. They just call me. Like yesterday, for example, the National Association of Reentry Professionals, who I work with very closely, called me and said, my voice doesn't sound right. I need you to record the voicemail for the organization. So I did. So whatever they need. So if you call them and you need the board of directors menu, you're going to get me.
That's awesome.
I apologize.
So 10 organizations outside of your day job.
Correct.
Wow.
Yes. And I go to school, finishing my bachelor's finally. So I'm busy always.
Well,
but people need help.
So
and I'm
much,
like, okay.
Thank you so much for carving out the time to come on here then. I appreciate that.
Man. Of course. Yeah, there's a lot of organizations. Um, the last time I counted, I have partnered with over 500
Wow.
in the Central Florida Space Coast area, as
Hmm.
well as there's quite a few other states that I have partners in that I work with as well. So there's
Cool.
quite a few, and it's every resource that anyone could need. And if I don't have what they're asking for, then I will hunt it down and make sure that, because I think that if you promote what someone is genuinely interested in, that that will
Hmm.
drive them to want to be successful. And once you get
Hmm.
addicted to success, like it is a nice feeling. So
Yeah.
that's my goal.
So tell us a little bit about like what you do in your day job. Like, can you do that? Like some of the things that you
Yeah,
help guys and get, I guess, men and women. You work with women too.
yep, everyone,
Everybody. Yeah.
all of the people.
Yeah.
And even those who are non-binary or identify as things, anything, I don't care. If you
Hmm.
need help, I got your back. Um, I literally help with anything that they need. Last week, I had to hunt down a birth certificate from another country. Still working on that. That's a fun process.
Yeah, I bet.
Um, I-9 verification documents is the big one. Housing is hard, but I will do my best. Florida just doesn't have a lot of housing options.
Right.
Um, if they want a specific certification, if they obtained a certification while they were incarcerated and then once released, they wanted to actually put it to use, I
Hmm.
will help them find a company to do that. I walk them through how to set up LinkedIn profiles. I have explained Chat GPT to people to walk them through that process if they wanted to, if they have a hard time writing eloquently and they want to make sure that it's
Hmm.
something done well, then I've
Hmm.
walked them through that process. Any certifications that they're interested in, horticulture, landscape architecture, those are some recent requests. Um, there's been, I mean, I work a lot with the vets, a group of vets. So they ask a lot for like mental health services, assistance with like Veterans Affairs, getting copies of their documents and stuff when they were in.
Hmm.
There's veteran housing, so I can refer them to that. Um, Health insurance, filing for. I've even walked people through not helping them with their taxes, but getting them to places that can walk them through it or help them with it. Um, Past due child support situations, job readiness, which I do on my own as well as refer out just because I have so many people I couldn't
Hmm.
unfortunately do all
Right.
of it.
Right.
Have to utilize the resources, right? And then that helps those
Right.
nonprofits that are having to meet some quotas for their grants and stuff. So
Hmm.
um, literally anything that they need, finding
And
transportation, everything.
people don't think about that kind of stuff if they've never been in trouble with the law of how hard some of this stuff is for people to get. Like, or even people
Yes.
that have never had to file their taxes because they've never really had a job,
Yep.
um, never had to write a resume. Like just little stuff we take for granted. A lot of people don't realize that, some of these people have done nothing but get in trouble all their lives, or maybe they, didn't have the best upbringing or whatever the situation is, that they've never had to do the stuff that we do every day without even thinking about it.
Right. Or they never had anyone to, even just having someone be proud of them for what would seemingly be very minor or
Yeah.
minuscule. Like
Right.
those moments are massive to some
Yeah.
people. It's yeah.
And it's
Sometimes that's all I
important
need to
that
do.
yeah. And it's important for them to feel like someone's proud of them in that, because if they don't, they're going to go back to right back to what they were doing. Oh,
Right.
somebody sees me doing the right
Yep.
thing.
In a non-condescending
Right.
way. Like
Right.
genuine empathy and excitement for their accomplishment. And not everyone is capable of doing that, unfortunately. But I was
Right.
a cheerleader for a long time. So I'm like, yeah, you did. Let's do it
Yep.
again.
And one thing that really stuck out to me when we talked before was how you said you'll work with anybody with any offense, whether it's non-payment of child support, all the way
Mhm.
up to murders and sex offenders. Like you have absolutely, it doesn't matter. You're going to do what you can to help everybody with no discrimination or condescension.
Correct. Yep.
I
Kindness is
love that.
kindness, and it can go a long way. There's only been
It
one
can.
time that I did not feel comfortable working with someone. One time in
Mm-hmm.
3 years. So, and I feel like that was a good reason. It was just, yeah.
Right.
It's not often.
Right. I mean, out of hundreds or thousands of people that you've worked with, one, if you felt it, then
Yeah.
there was probably a good reason.
Yeah. Within less than 5 seconds of being on the phone with this individual, I did not feel, I had goosebumps. I just felt
Mm-hmm.
very not good.
Yeah.
And I made that choice, and I felt really awful doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But I made the choice to, see if we could refer him to literally
Someone
anybody else.
You're right.
Literally anyone. Like I will give you all of the names. Like,
And I think
yeah.
that goes to show too, like how many people actually change when they come out or want change. Like if out of hundreds or thousands, however many people you've worked with, only one gave you the heebie-jeebies, and you
Mhm.
felt comfortable with everybody else.
Yep.
That, like, to me, is like a huge.
Mhm.
A lot of it, though, I think has to do with the way you approach people. I mean, you don't go into
Oh,
it. You know what I
no.
mean? You go into it to help.
Yeah, I think I approach it more like a college like advisor, maybe. Would
Mm-hmm.
probably be how I mean, I don't even like saying this out loud, but it's true. So, yes, I am speaking to a population where they could not have the greatest intentions. But that's
Mm-hmm.
anyone really in general,
Yeah.
regardless of if they've been caught or not. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yep. Yep.
I always am cautious. I don't give out personal information.
No,
I
no,
mean,
no.
obviously, my name is out there, so it's not hard to find me. But I do have stuff taken off of like public record and stuff like that. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, it's very rare that I am uncomfortable. I mean, obviously, I do approach different situations. Just like you wouldn't talk to a judge the same way you talk to your uncle, you have to
Right.
gauge the situation
Right.
and just kind of adapt to each person. So
Yeah.
that's what I do. I follow
For
the flow.
sure. Love it.
It works.
Right. What how hard is it, like, do you have people you work with? I guess you do, obviously. You have all kinds of partnerships, like as far as getting jobs for people that are coming out of prison or jail or probation or whatever. Um, how hard is it in Florida for people with a record to find a job?
It's harder for some. And it's probably not the classifications that people would think. So what society would view as one of the worst charges, like murder, for example, they're typically very easy to place,
Mm-hmm.
simply because a lot of the companies have set their time frame for how far they'll go back under FCRA guidelines to
Mm-hmm.
be even within 10 years. And most of the people who have that charge were gone more than 10 years.
Right.
So it's not even showing up. So they're like, oh, that was a long time ago. It's fine. But they're far more accepting of a murder conviction. Obviously, some of them do take into consideration the circumstances, but they're far more accepting than, like you said earlier, someone that's a registered citizen or
Mm-hmm.
that has what's another common one? Like aggravated battery with a weapon, battery on a law
Mm-hmm.
enforcement officer. But I try to take a look at what the situations were
Mm-hmm.
because they're umbrella charges, and not
Right.
everything, it doesn't, what the charge is doesn't necessarily
Right.
meet what they
Right.
actually did. So
Mm-hmm.
I try to, I will use whatever I can to help minimize the the impact on an employer,
Right.
without being false and giving a false information. But
Sure.
if they were battery on a Leo and they, jerked their arm away from them and the cop jerked back, like they can get a battery on a Leo charge for that. Did they,
Right.
did they punch him or kick him or beat the hell out of him? No. And
Right.
if that's the situation, I'll use it. It's public record. I'm going to say it. Like,
Right. Right. Exactly.
because it lessens their view of that individual. So,
I would imagine a lot of what you do is educating. You're educating, helping to educate the people you work with, but you're also educating your partners.
yes, I do a lot of that. I will go to a lot of different organizations and go over, for example, dispositions. A lot of people in Florida, we have adjudication withheld, and a lot of people don't understand what that is, what it means, how
Mm-hmm.
to view it. So I'll go over all of the dispositions and let them know this is not guilty. This cannot be used for employment purposes. This could be used, but you'd have to take a look at the classification. Or when they're looking at public record, people will see 17 arrests and say that this is a violent person, but they don't have one conviction. So
Right.
they basically have a clean background.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, so I spent a lot of time going over that, covering work opportunity tax credit, federal bonding programs, different programs that are offered for employers. Like our local career source here actually offers a program that will pay the wages of the individual for the first, I don't quote me on how many months, but the first few months of employment, career source will actually pay it. So the employer is
Wow.
not out anything
Mm-hmm.
for giving this individual a chance. So, and they have one for people that owe child support. They will pay them for every class and training that they attend, and then they pay them $500 if they find employment and are there for more than 2 weeks. So there's incentives for the more that they learn
Mm-hmm.
and the more effort they put into it. So
Mm-hmm.
just putting it all out there and letting the employers know I understand that you are nervous and I can completely appreciate where you're coming from. However, there are options. You could add a longer probationary period. You could pair them with a foreman. You could put them, if they had a
Mm-hmm.
money issue, then put them in a position where they don't have access to money. They could still
Right.
do customer service. They could do logistics. Like
Right.
we have to think outside the box. There's other options. So
Mm-hmm.
trying to change the world. Challenge accepted.
Right. You didn't even know you were accepting that challenge when you
I
started,
didn't.
didn't you?
We're there now though. So the
Right.
more you know, right?
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about the National Association of Reentry Professionals.
Oh, it's my favorite. So they're wonderful. We have a conference coming up in April. Check out the website. It's going to be in Franklin, Tennessee, but it was founded by Miss Rosetta Taylor. She is fantastic. And they actually have some big things that they just partnered with. I don't know if she's announced it, so I'm not going to say it, but keep checking the website. It's thenarp.org, NARP. And
DNARP.
they are correct. Yep, amazing group of people. There are, I believe they call themselves the Fantastic Felons. They are lovely. That
I
I
love
met
that.
at, that I adore them. That I met the last conference, and they all have started organizations and are really doing what they can to kind of change the narrative and
Hmm.
get all the info out there. But it is, last I checked, there were 25 or 27 partnered states. And there were
Wow.
people there from California, from Tennessee, from Alabama, Georgia, Kentucky, Florida, Louisiana was there. Like there were just from all over the place, employers, partners, previously incarcerated individuals who are now
Hmm.
doing big things. Sheila Bruno from Life After Prison that promotes getting the information out for post incarceration syndrome for both the person who was incarcerated as well as the families and how to approach that because it's different than it was before.
Yeah.
Um, so everyone comes together, we network, we share, we give information. New organizations have been started by additional partnerships just from meeting individuals through them. And now there's going to be a whole bunch of training options and stuff like that. So they're expanding, and I am super excited about it.
That is pretty cool. I had no idea they were that big.
Yeah, they're definitely getting big. Like I needed someone. I had an individual that wanted to go to a different state, and I was like, all right, who do I know there? went through all my contacts through NARP and found Andrew Hager, who does a lot with addiction and recovery and treatment, peer support
Mm-hmm.
counseling and coaching, and was able to get someone transferred up there. So it comes in handy
Yeah.
a lot. You never know who's going to want to go where, and you may have
Right.
someone in that area. So yeah, they're amazing. Lots of training, education, and partnerships.
Education is a big deal. Like it's all. I mean, you have to have all of it, but to me, just educating people, the public, about stuff. That's kind of what Darren Wallace. I don't know if you saw his comment. He works for Cornbread Hustle out of Dallas, and a lot
Yes.
of what they do. Yeah, he's been a guest on the show. Absolutely phenomenal. I shout him out every time he's here, but he was a former TDCJ warden,
Oh wow.
Texas prison system warden. Now he helps people coming out of prison, which, for somebody that's been in prison to see a warden on the other side helping people coming out is just like,
That's got to be
still, like,
weird.
I've known him. Yeah, we've been friends for like 2 years now, and it's still, every time I think about it, it's like boom, you know. But a lot of what they do is educating, the companies that they partner with to get these guys coming in jobs, is to go in and educate corporations and factories and all that kind of stuff about it. Very similar to what you're doing, which I think is huge, because if people don't know what they don't know, they only
Yeah.
know what they see on TV or what they've been told before, which may or may not be true. Um, you
Right.
know, I love cop shows, but like Law and Order and all them have done
Oh,
nothing to help guys coming out of prison.
not even a little. Yeah. No, it's not. Y'all watching? It is not the same.
Right.
It is made for TV.
Right.
Grain of salt or five. Like
Exactly.
not the same. I mean, some of the most
Uh-uh.
amazing, talented people that I have met
Yeah.
are people that most of society is like, oh no, bad people. I'm like, no, the
Hmm.
hell they're not. They're fantastic. Like
Yeah.
amazing and so talented. Oh my God, the talent is incredible.
Yeah. I was going back to like a murder charge. A lot of those guys, like I had a buddy I was locked up with. He was in a gang on the streets when he was like 17 or 18. Him and his brother shot a dude. Um, and I think he got 35 years. But he got out not long ago, and he is doing amazing. Like, that was something, he did when he was a kid and he grew
Yeah.
up. But he's got a wife now, step kids, step grandkids, works a good job. Like, he's just doing absolutely amazing. I know it. I love
See,
it. Like,
I love it. I got goosies.
I know. Like, you would never know, aside from the tattoos, you'd never know he'd been to prison, because
Oh,
he's
I
living
love it.
life how it's supposed to be lived.
That's funny you brought that up. I actually, the tattoos specifically, an individual maybe like a month and a half ago, was affiliated with a group of people
Yeah. Yeah.
and got a tattoo on his face. And he said that it was really hindering him. So I
Hmm.
reached out to, I know a lot of random people. So I reached out to a friend who owns a tattoo shop, and they do a lot of donations for like breast cancer. They'll like tattoo the nipples and stuff back on after they've had the
Hmm.
double mastectomy and stuff.
Yeah.
And he's actually going to repigment it to match his skin tone to try to cover it
No
up.
kidding.
Yeah, and he's not going to charge him for it either. So
That is
super
amazing.
excited. So yeah, I never know what
Yes.
I'm going to get asked, but if I can
Yes.
figure out a way, I will do it.
That is so cool.
Yep, I'm excited. Hopefully it works out for him. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah, but yeah, I never know. But
So
if I
tell
can
us
do it, I'm
about the
going to do
conference. Yeah, tell us about the conference. Like, what all goes on
it.
at the NARS
So
conference?
we had our first conference this past April, and it was in Pensacola, Florida. It was amazing, and we had 200 and some odd attendees, and
Cool.
it was smaller on the vendor scale, which we're really trying to up this year. I think
Hmm.
they're trying to cap it at 40 vendors. So you'll have the opportunity to walk around, there's different software options. There's like reentry type software. They had someone there that was from Louisiana, Happy Dyer, with it used to be CHI, Community Health Initiative, but they just changed the name of it. But they will provide health insurance to individuals released within a certain 2 months for
Okay.
free. And then after that, then it's 14. They'll do 4 months for free, and then it's like $14 a month, and it's full health insurance.
Really?
Um, yeah, with specialists, MRIs, like anything they need, they can go, and it's nothing out of pocket except for their $14 a month once it gets to that time frame. So I
Wow.
use it all the time, and that's nationwide. So if anyone listening, let me know, and I'm actually gonna pull up their information now. I lost my train of thought. Oh, conference. So there'll be a whole bunch of different presenters. A lot of individuals that were previously incarcerated. Danny Collins out of Fort Pierce started an organization called Containing Luxury, where he takes containers and turns them into luxury, like efficiency apartments,
No
so that
kidding.
people can. Oh yeah, they're stunning too. It's called Containing Luxury. Amazing. And his story was something like he was going to be signed by the Atlanta Braves, and something happened, and he ended up doing time and lost his
Hmm.
shot at that. But he is definitely making a huge impact and changing a lot of lives. So
Wow.
yeah, there's a lot of speakers, a lot of individuals that are doing big things. They had corrections was there. They had Federal Bureau of Prisons, I think, came out and did presentations. Sheila Bruno with Life After Prison about post incarcerations, she did a presentation. I didn't go to all of them because some of them were running simultaneously, so I couldn't be in two places at once,
Right.
unfortunately. Gonna
Right.
work on that.
Right. We got to fix
State
that.
challenge accepted.
That would greatly help your free time.
Oh my God. Free time? What is that?
That's what I'm
Should I
saying. If
put,
you could be in two
should I put
places
that
at
on a
once.
calendar?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know who is in the running for speakers. I know that we're currently like trying to bring them in, and we did reach out to the gentleman you just mentioned a second ago to
Yeah,
see if he
Darren.
wanted to come speak. Yes, um, and I told
Chris
you,
Smith would be another good one. He was here a little while ago.
what is
Um,
it, Chris?
Chris Smith. I'll do an introduction DM.
Okay,
Super good speaker. Like he's very motivational, tells it like it is, and he's in the trenches working daily with his community, working with the Chamber of Commerce, working with businesses, educating people,
yeah, good.
helping guys that are coming out because he started doing drugs when he was like 8 or something,
Oh wow.
in and out of prison, drug addict. Yeah, awesome story.
See, you
He'd be
just
another
never
good
know
one.
what someone has been through. That's why I
Yep.
try to always lead with kindness. Like
Hmm.
if I'm walking down the street, I'm gonna compliment every person that makes eye contact with me because you
Hmm.
don't know
Yeah.
how their day is unfolding.
Right. For sure.
Yep. And animals too. Don't be messing with animals now. I'm gonna
Yeah,
tell
don't mess
everybody.
with animals.
Don't mess with them.
You gonna blast that shit all over Facebook.
All over. Oh yeah. I have the sheriff on speed dial. Not kidding. Because he is a big animal advocate. You messing with animals, he's gonna
Yeah.
ruin your whole day. Good for him.
Yeah, I love it. I
Oh
love it.
yeah. I advocate for
Um,
anybody. I don't care.
yeah, I love it. What else do we need to know? It's kind of I'm trying to figure out how to skate around
Well,
things.
well, what else? So there are just my recommendation would be to listen and watch how someone reacts. Like
Hmm.
I think I mentioned to you before, I pay a lot of attention to what people aren't saying.
Hmm.
So, and the example that is easiest to go with is, what is your highest level of education you completed? They look
Right.
down, eighth
Right.
grade. Okay, that's something we
Right.
need to boost up a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, that's definitely a good pointer, I think,
Hmm.
because most of the time they have been screwed over and given false promises and false hope,
Mm-hmm.
And any person that keeps getting let down is going to stop hoping.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going to say you're going to do something, follow through with it,
Mm-hmm.
and follow through with it to the best of your ability. And if you can't, communicate with them and say, I can't, I tried my best. Like, let's see what else we can do to get you out there and see if someone else can do it.
Yeah.
And it's okay, like, to say that you can't do something.
Mm-hmm.
It's not saying that you're failing. It's just, yeah, this is out of my wheelhouse, and
People would
gotta
much rather hear that, I
outsource.
think, than get ghosted.
Oh, 100%.
You know,
I don't want to be ghosted.
no, I don't either. If you
No,
can't tell me, I'm a big boy.
no. I'm like, listen, we do not align. Okay, have a great day. We are not in the same space, but it's fine. I
Right.
wish you all the best. Yeah, just transparency, not giving false promises. And if you need something, like, Google is powerful. LinkedIn is powerful. You
Mm-hmm.
can find what you need pretty
Mm-hmm.
quickly.
Yep, for sure.
Yep.
100%.
And if you don't know how to do it, get on the YouTube University. You're going to learn real quick.
I know, right? You can learn anything
Love
on
it.
YouTube.
Oh, yeah. I know all of the random things. And if you get a chance to volunteer, do it, because it
Yeah,
makes you, it fills your cup right on up, makes you
it
feel all
does.
warm and fuzzy. And that just kind of just pushes you to move forward. Because I have crappy day. I had a bad day yesterday. I was mad at the world,
Mm-hmm.
just in my feelings, and just frustrated. And then I got a call from one of the people I'm working with, and they were super excited about something that they completed, and my whole day was better. So, yeah, giving back even an hour at a time can be very helpful, not only to you, but to the people that you're giving that hour to. So,
Yep, for sure.
yep.
Um, what was I going to say? I had it in my head. Oh, about giving back and volunteering. Like it's really fulfilling to see people that have been beat down, like you said, that are head hangers, go from walking around like this to walking around like this.
Yep.
Just proud of themselves because they've accomplished something in the real world.
Yep, I was that person with my head down for a long time. I made
Mm-hmm.
choices when I was younger that I regretted. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'll say it.
For
I'm not
sure.
shy about it. Dropped out of school, and my biggest regret was not staying in school and missing the college experience that I'm now
Mm-hmm.
living vicariously through my daughter. Thank you for that.
Right.
She's doing amazing. Um, but you can come back from it. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm close to my bachelor's now. I want to have a doctorate, just because why not have doctor in front of my name? Challenge accepted for that too.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
sign me up. Which also helps to relate, which is another good point.
Mm-hmm.
If you've been through something, it's gonna help humanize you, instead of you being this know-it-all person that's trying to tell them how to fix their lives. Like,
Mm-hmm.
bring yourself down a little bit and say, hey, well, not down, that's a bad way to say it, but bring yourself back to that moment and let them know, hey, things are not perfect. I'm in a
Right.
good spot now, but it took some time, and I came through some
Mm-hmm.
stuff, and it can be done, but it requires effort, and it can
Right.
suck sometimes. And you're like, man, I just want to quit, but
Right.
don't.
Right. Yeah, I
Just
like the way
don't.
you put that. Bring yourself down. Well, not down, but just put yourself in their shoes. Because
Yeah.
they're not below. Like, we are not below. I say we as a felon. We just did some messed up stuff,
Hmm.
and
And
sometimes
no
we
one
just
knows
need a
what even brought
chance.
you there. Like, it could
Right.
have been a horrible situation. So, yeah,
Exactly.
don't judge people. Judge them on who they show you they are now,
Right.
if you want to judge.
100%. 100%. Well, cool.
Yep.
I love it. I love what you're doing. I'm going to do a DM as soon as we get done here, introducing you to Chris. If nothing else, you need to get on a Zoom with him and just talk to him for a few minutes. Like, it'll make your day. Like, he's just that kind
I
of guy.
do love that. I love people like that. I love it.
Yeah, he is, and he's a lot like you. Like, he lives his life to help people, and
it
it's
didn't. It
amazing.
just worked out that way.
Yeah.
It's now all consuming.
Right.
It's like, yeah, but I don't mind
Yeah.
it. It makes me
Yeah.
happy.
Good. Hey, Damian Kinsey, good to see you, man. Thanks for dropping in.
Hi.
Wanya Bugby, yeah. Well, cool. Tiffany, this has been awesome. Like, I enjoyed it just as much as I did the first chat.
Oh, you're so pleasant.
Made my evening for sure. So I appreciate you coming on and hanging out with us. So,
No, thank you for
uh,
having me.
yeah, it's
And if
been a good
anyone wants to
conversation.
reach out, you're more than welcome to share the contact info or add me on LinkedIn. I don't even know what my LinkedIn name is. Kindness Pusher 84, maybe. I think that's what it is. I think
Yeah, it probably is. I mean, you can look up Tiffany Raymond. I will tag you right here in case anybody.
I think it's tagged in the flyer that you put out too.
It is. Yep.
And if they need a resource, I'm happy to do what I always say yes. I will help. I got your back.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Who is my guest next week? Do I have it on the calendar?
Ooh, who is your guest next week?
Who is my
I'm
guest
curious.
next week? Next week is Labor Day.
Oh, yes.
So I will not be live next week. I do not have a guest for the 11th.
That means
So
I'm missing a day of work.
it's a good thing, though, isn't it? A
Oh,
day off.
right. Sure. What am I gonna do for a whole day? You can only mow the lawn so much.
Yeah, I know, right? And like we're not even I'm not even mowing my yard. It's like crunchy when I walk out there right now. So
That hurt a little bit.
well, I mean, I hate mowing my yard. And I live out in the country, like way off the road. Nobody can see it.
What?
So yeah, I love it.
You should mow your lawn. The before and after is very gratifying.
It is. It is very gratifying. And I do mow it whenever it rains, but I do not water it because it doesn't hurt my feelings to not have to mow it.
Well, I'm in Florida and it's got plenty of water.
Yeah, I know. Y'all get rain all the damn time.
And we're about to get a whole bunch more. So.
Yeah, you are. All right, y'all. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. I appreciate all the support, all the love y'all show. Couldn't do it without you. And Tiffany, thank you again for showing up.
Of course. Y'all be nice to people.
Be nice. Be nice to people and critters.
Yeah. Yes.
People and critters. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good night.
Thank you.